organizers. I can see the kind of efforts you put in, and it's a good number of participants. That's wonderful. And it was also good that the host gave a summary of what was discussed in the first session. That helps me to take it from there. And trust me, this session will be a very, very, very exciting session. And those of you who are either budding researchers or in some stage of research, completed research, doctorate, any level, this is a wonderful opportunity for us to know how we can use technology in research. And let me be very clear, how we can use technology in supplementing our research efforts. Let's keep in mind at the very beginning, technology cannot replace us. It should not replace us. It cannot work for us. But using it, we can definitely simplify certain things and make our research process very effective. How exactly we can make that happen is what I'll be discussing today. And I wish we could have made this more hands-on, but considering that we have a limited time, I'll demonstrate various things. And I request all the participants to make a note of all the various apps, websites, which I'll be showing. And as I go to each app, I'll tell you what are its features, how it can be used. And you should, once you start practicing on it, you will see how you can simplify your research process and how you can reduce the time that you need to take for doing any research for that matter. Now, let me share the screen and take it further. Okay. Can somebody confirm? Is my screen visible?
Yes, sir.
I open an Excel sheet. Is that visible?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Thank you. Right. All right. Now, in fact, though I mentioned this title, I guess there was some confusion. In the brochure, the title that appeared was use of AI for writing research articles. Well, writing research articles, all right, we can always do that, which is one of the stages. What I intend to show you today is how we can use AI tools, artificial intelligence tools, for all the stages of academic research. Let's see. Now, AI tools, since all of us are familiar, we have been using it. Even before we started using systems, there have been many AI tools we have been using. But once all of us started using computers, and particularly the MS Office and all its packages, we have actually been familiar with these AI tools. Just for an example, friends, if you go to any Word document, all of us know there is an automatic spell check that happens, automatic grammar check that happens. Mind you, that is an AI tool. So there is an embedded AI which is already part of MS Word. Similarly, if you go to references, which you please see later, every feature that we have there, everything that we do using references is AI. And I'm sure all of you know, there's a facility to translate, into different language, all that available in an MS Word, all these and many more are the AI tools what we have already seen in MS Word. Similarly, if you come to Excel, friends, all of us know we have data analysis, solver, what if analysis, forecast, and whatnot. All these again are AI tools. So yeah, we're really familiar, nothing new. But recent past, what we have is not just AI, friends. It is called generative AI. So all this not dynamic. It just this what it performs what is it is commanded for. But what is the generative AI? It creates things for us. It thinks for us. It does everything that we want to be done. What is the generative AI tools which we can use in academic research? Let us see. For that, let us very quickly list out what are the various stages of research. In fact, it will be even good to think what is research? Friends, though there are many ways in which you can understand, define what is research. One very simple and very effective perspective of research is seeing what everyone else sees, but thinking what nobody else has thought. It's the same thing that we see every day, but when we can think differently about anything, that is the beginning of research. Now, let's see, firstly, what are the various steps in research? And my purpose is to show you, at least in some of the major steps of research, how we can use these AI tools. So all of us know, first step in research is to identify what is called research motivation, call it research, research statement of problem, need for the study, by whatever name you call it. It's called research motivation. And this stage is called the why aspect of research. So why we're doing a particular research is identified here. The motivation for research, this is the first stage. So why in this research? That is what we identify first. Then to solve the problem, research motivation, research problem, solve this problem, we need certain things. What all should we need? What all do we find? Should we find to get solution for the problem is the next stage, and this is what we call research objectives. And friends, this is called the what aspect of research. So what all should we find to get solution for the problem? So the why aspect, the what aspect. Once we identify objectives, what all we should find. Next aspect is design.
Rajesh sir, I would request if you can
Uh,
check your mic because sometime the volume is not able to come. In case of your bandwidth issue, I would suggest you can switch off your video.
all right, okay, I'll do that. Thank you. Thank you. Okay. So the next stage is designing the tool for data collection. I'll switch off my video 1 minute. Okay. Design the tool for data collection. Then going for data collection, then comes another major stage, data analysis, and then manuscript writing. This manuscript could be your research paper, your thesis, dissertation, whatsoever. That's commonly called manuscript. Now, these are the stages of research. All these you are aware of. Each of these definitely have good knowledge, good depth. But as I mentioned, what we do today is to see in each stage how we can use various AI tools. And what I show is just tip of the iceberg. No end. Literally every day there are many new AI tools that are actually being created. Whatever I show is just the beginning. Once you know how to use this, all similar, you know how exactly that can be used. Now, first stage is research motivation, which we also say finding research gap. Now, what do we do for this? For this, first we should do what is called literature review. In fact, literature review is the process by which we identify research gap if it is academic research. Remember, there is also what is called action research or management research. Okay, it's not literature review. We go with something else. Then, all of us, I'm sure, are interested in academic research. So, literature review is through which we identify research gap. Now, how to do this literature review? Well, all of us know, and no end. In fact, on literature itself, we can have 100 hours of discussion. With hands-on, we can even make it 200 hours. But let us see how we can use some AI tools which can simplify our review of literature. So to begin with, I'll go to one of the AI tools which we are very, very familiar. In fact, today, whenever we say AI, people get into mind only one item, one thing called ChatGPT, correct? So I'll just go for ChatGPT. Okay. Now, remember, literature review, there are broadly two stages. Firstly, background literature. So unless I have a complete knowledge of the background, I should not progress into further step. And research literature, that is articles, etc., which can help us in finding the research gap. Now, what's my first stage? Background literature. Now, I should know for the topic I have in my mind, what is the appropriate background material so that I can get an in-depth knowledge of the area. And please remember, whenever any of us have to do research, this is the first in HR, operations, any area. First, ensure that you have a complete expertise, at least a good enough knowledge on this. How about, let's see. Now, I have opened ChatGPT. Now, can one of you tell me quickly one of the areas in which you are interested in doing research or you're doing research? Let me just keep that and show you through how to go about. So, one of you quickly, maybe the host herself. What's your area of interest?
Marketing, sir.
Sorry?
Marketing, sir.
Marketing. Okay. Now, let us some specific topic in marketing. Marketing is a broad area. That's good. Any specific topic or area of marketing like advertising, etc. Anything more specific?
Omni channel, sir.
Sorry,
Omni channels.
what channel?
Omni. OMINI.
No, I'm not able to hear you. I'm sorry.
Omni
What
channel, sir.
channels? Can you put it on the chat?
Omni.
That
OMINI.
omni channel.
No, there's a lot of disturbance at the background. I'm not able to hear you. What channels?
Omni channels.
Huh?
OMINI.
Participants, in case you have an issue, you can put the message on the chat box.
Put it on the chat. Let me see that. Sorry, I have to make you repeat, but I'm not able to hear you.
Rajesh
Just
sir, he
say.
was mentioning about the Omni channel. I would request all of you, please put the message on the chat box because we understand sometime the volume will not be coming, the sound may not be clear.
Yeah. Okay. Fine. Let's marketing channels. Okay. Let's distribution channels. Let's suppose. Okay. Please mute your audio, all of you. Okay. So I should know what's exact literature I should use first to get a background knowledge on this. How to do this? Now, ChatGPT, and as I mentioned, ChatGPT is just the beginning. Lot more we have. This is a good place to begin with. Now, where can I go? What should I do? Friends, using ChatGPT, there is a very interesting technique. We call that as RTF technique. What is this? Whenever you need something from ChatGPT, this is what you should do. Define the role, give the task, and if there is a need, give the format. ChatGPT will give you what you need. So role, task, format, RTF. Now, let's see what is this. Now, so I'm asking now ChatGPT, consider yourself as a researcher. This is the role we are giving. Doing research on distribution channels. Please list out reference material for this topic, including books, magazines, etc. Now, this is a request again. We can give more requests. Now, please see, it has given us a very, very big list of on distribution channel, if that is the area, if I heard it right, in which you want to do research. What are all the various material we can use, reference material, the background knowledge. So books, what all books we can use. And I'm sure many of us may not have probably heard of many of these, but what it lists out is taking the best from all the sources, whatever is most appropriate and relevant, it lists out, and that's what it has done. Journals, but journals we can come to later. Reports and articles, online resources, publications, industry reports, conferences, seminars. Just see. Maybe books, probably you can begin with that. If you want, you can specify only books, it will give complete list of books. So let's say you get the list of books here, take them, read them. Please ensure first you got a in-depth knowledge on this subject, this topic. Only then, friends, we're ready for doing research on this. Quite often, many of researchers fail in doing quality research just because they don't have adequate background knowledge. No compromise on that. That's an essential requirement. So this is just a beginning. Now, if you feel, yes, I know all the sources available, good. We don't need this. You go ahead with that. At least this is a good beginning, right? That let's suppose you have read this. Now we're ready. Now yes, I have complete knowledge on marketing channels, distribution channels. Now I am ready to identify research gap. So now we should begin with the actual literature. This reading these background literature also is a literature review. What we now do is the core part of literature review. How can I go about? So one simple way to begin is Scholar, Google Scholar. I'm sure all of us would have seen. And I'm very, very sure all of you who are doing research would have access to some database. Maybe in your own institutions, outside institution, there's always some databases. That's where the best place. I'm just showing with open source, Google Scholar. Whatever you can do here, you can do with a database and you can get. What should I do? Now, since you wanted marketing channels or distribution channels, friends, I type distribution channels. Channel management, whatever. Now, what do you see happening? Friends, we see a big list of journal articles, and I'm sure all of us know what journal articles mean. Research carried out by somebody, published in a journal. So it's all these journal articles are nothing but earlier research, previous research that has been carried out in this area. So you get a big list. Now, I'm not going to show you how to use Google Scholar, etc. But you can, as you know, there are two things to do. You can sort it by relevance, sort it by date. So all these are most relevant. It could be book, it could be article, it could be research paper. So you can specify what exactly you need. And if it is sorting by relevance, what is most relevant to the keyword what you gave, you will get a sort by date, or you can even take the latest, etc. You can get. Now, if you go to databases, you can download most of these research articles, and it's important that at least you start with 50, 100, whatever the numbers you get, whatever you feel is appropriate for your area of interest, download as many, and just download how to do literature review. Let's see that. Please ensure that you have complete access of all these papers which are appropriate and relevant for your area of interest. So if it is distribution channels, marketing channels, etc. Can you see one article here? Analysis of logistic distribution channels in goods supply to increase sales volume, etc., etc. It's an article. And in Google Scholar also, some of them can be downloaded. You can use them. Fine. But remember, this just where to get or what literature to use. How to do literature review? There's a beauty. Our AI tools is so useful, helpful in doing that, which I'll demonstrate. But once you're ready with background literature, once you feel, yes, I'm ready, I know, have the knowledge, go for any of the databases. Google Scholar is open source. You may not get everything, but any databases, EBSCO, Emerald, Scopus, Saival, whatever. And download as many which are relevant for your. At the beginning, the relevance can be understood only from the keywords and the title. And when you give a keyword, whether the keyword is in the title or in the content, the database will throw all the relevant papers relative to that. You can download it. You can use them. No. Is it enough to start literature view? No. Now, what I show next is something very, very exciting. Please see what I do next. So, what I do, once I have few ready with us, at least a few to begin with. Some random order, if I get articles, it is really useful and relevant for me, maybe may not be. So, what I do, I go to one app called Litmaps, Litmaps, litmaps.ai. So, can you see what's the title? Litmaps, a literature review assistant. It's a tool which helps us in our literature review. And I'll tell you at the very beginning, friends, most of these AI apps are freemium. What is this freemium? To some extent, it is free. You can use it freely, but beyond a limit, unless you subscribe for it, you can't use it. That's called freemium. Free plus premium. Free to some extent, premium. Now, what you should use, etc., that's your choice. You can always think of. But I'm just demonstrating what all can be done. Now, so what have I done? Using ChatGPT identified, which are good background literature. I've read through that. Then gone to databases and on the topic which I'm interested, I downloaded as many articles are available. But don't begin with your literature review. This is what we do. Friends, come to this, and what I mentioned, Litmaps is just one of such tools. Like this, we have many. Now, already I have one or two here. I have uploaded. So, but let me show. So, let's say create Litmap. So, let's say, friends, same distribution channels. Now, if you see here, there is one option called upload file. So all articles which you have downloaded, you can upload here. It can make what the next process very simple. Even if not, do this. Now, I've taken this. So let's say this. I've selected a few. Let's say I've selected all this available here. And if I've uploaded any this upload file, if I've uploaded it, all these you select. Once you do this, there are as many, say create Litmap, create Litmap. Let's see now what's happening. Friends, we selected a few. You are getting a map. And let me show you. See if I place my cursor here. What's showing actually? A map. So this is an article, organizing matching chance of distribution by phrase here. And it is showing this article as referred which other articles. So if you remember, in every article, there's something called bibliography at the end, correct? So technically speaking, an article which you review, find what are all in the bibliography, in the references. All those articles you should review. Now, that work which we would have done manually, this system is doing, this app is doing for you. It is showing each article, what are the articles they have referred, and in turn, it will also show, for example, here, year 2007 in his article, if you place the cursor there, I'll get the article, has referred, given year 2003 as reference. So, has used this. So, which articles has been used by this as reference and which articles have used this as reference, you'll get a map. A lot of features in this. Reference count, sign count, so many things and so many features. I'm just showing the basic framework, what all is available. Now, one shot instead of me. So all articles, whatever you downloaded, upload here and just say create literature map. It will show which all articles they have used, which all articles has been as this been referred by others, and all these essentially you must have with you. So if you have, good. If not, ensure you download these as well from whichever source available. So all this is to see what all we should refer, what all should be kept ready with us, and what is this. So this map helps us to identify which articles have been referred, and you can see the timeline from 1980 till 2015. So, and see the map, can you see? So you can get chronologically what all are available, and even like for a single literature review, you can even follow the same order as well. And this map, just follow this map, you'll get to see, you get a logical understanding of the literature review process. Now, the very same can be done with the help of one more called Research Rabbit. Research Rabbit. Research Rabbit. That's the name of another app. Right. Now, already on some topics I've uploaded some papers, so just use the same. So, friends, one of the area on which currently we're pursuing some research is digital currency. Now, these are all the articles which we had identified already or uploaded. Same, if I go to new category, give the topic distribution channels, digital currency, list out all the articles that are available. And suppose, can you see here one explore papers? Can you see similar work, earlier work, later work? So let's just click on similar work. Now please see what happens. Could you see once again a map that is created? Similar, whatever I showed you on lit maps, exactly similar. And once again, we get to know, so which are the works on this area. And essentially, all these are the articles which you must review. So please ensure, if you have this, good. If not, download. Now, if you see here, you can find this in two colors, green and blue. Green are the ones actually which are downloaded and uploaded here. These are articles which we have with us. We had uploaded on this. Blue is articles which is not uploaded here. So these are what actually you need to further access, download from wherever it is available, keep it ready. Then we're ready to actual literature review. So in literature review, the true literature review, first is to ensure we have all the relevant literature ready with us, all the articles relevant to our topic ready with us, the journal articles. And how can we find that? Through Research Rabbit, lit maps, etc. And features, if you see here, there is one thing called timeline here at the top, timeline. So friends, if I do this, I get across time, see from 2017, etc. So 2017. Digital currency, I'm sure you know, was the latest edition 10 years back approximately. So don't have any papers before 2017, maybe something which had some concept in that from 2017. So from its origin till date, all papers that are available, I have a list available. Those, as I said, what is in green here are those which we already have, but uploaded here. So it is showing in green. All these, what we don't have here, but still articles which are referred by these, or these have been referred by these. So have this. Now be ready for doing literature. Good. So ChatGPT
Sir, if you
for
don't mind, I have a
identifying
doubt,
background
sir.
literature, any database for getting all the relevant articles, lit maps and research rabbit to give us the network connection, the mapping, and a complete list of what are all the relevant articles which we need to have. And what I'm showing is simple, a small list. Can you see 659, etc. It may be hundreds, thousands of list, thousands, hundreds. Have all of them. Have all of them. Doesn't matter. Let it be thousand in number. Have it. That's the beauty. That's where AI is what can be helpful. Manually, if you have to review all this, it takes years, which we can't do. that's exactly where I said we must have AI, take support of AI. We should not use it for what we should do, but using it for simplifying our work is that's where it should be put into use. Right. Friends, now I have all the relevant articles with me. Let it be, let's say this number 659, whatever we have. Now, I should start with my actual literature review. Now, I'm sure all of us know what else should we find in literature review. So, friends, every literature what we review, every article that we review, identify as many things as you need, but there are 5 points we must identify and keep ready for every article. What are these 5? So first, identify what is the research gap or research motivation in that paper. So every article, which is nothing but a research paper carried out, research work carried out by somebody, there will be a research gap or a research motivation need for the study, maybe directly expressed or hidden in the introduction content somewhere, literature review somewhere, but it will be there. Identify this. 2, identify objectives, and sometimes will also what is called hypothesis mentioned. Identify those. Third, what was the methodology used? 4, what are the findings and conclusions? And 5, most important, scope for further research. Scope for further research. Now, essentially these 5, anything more you want to always identify, but these 5 are a must. We must identify to do literature review. And mind you, why are we doing literature review? For identifying research gap. So now my literature is ready. The articles are ready. Let's say we have 500 articles with us. So each article we need to review and identify these 5. But just by identifying these 5 individually for each article, will it help us to identify research gap? No. But first we should do this. And then a lot more things to do, a lot more steps to carry on to identify the research gap. Now, I always suggest no shortcuts. Take each article and you identify this and keep writing. Put it on an Excel sheet, etc. But I'm sure all of us know there are beautiful softwares like Mendeley, Zepero, etc., which can simplify our process of literature review. So instead of writing things manually, etc., we can use this. We are doing manually only, but still we can use this. So just let me open Mendeley. Like this, like mainly what I'm showing, there's also what is called Zotero. So all these articles, what you're downloaded, as I said, 500 number, whatever the number, just upload into this. So all the articles, everything that you have, you can one second. Right. So let's move on. What are the 5 things that we need to identify? The research motivation, and the research objectives and hypothesis, methodology, uh, findings and conclusions, scope for further research. Friends, let's say these are the papers you have. All this, as I said, articles are downloaded using databases, EBSCO, Emerald, Skyable, etc. Using those databases are downloaded, uploaded in those apps to identify what more I can use. Uploaded here as well. So simple features. Let's say I take this. Friends, for each of these, you can have a feature called notebook, and instead of writing somewhere or typing somewhere, you can do everything here itself. So here itself identify the research gap, So read the article completely. That's our responsibility. We should read it. Then the objectives same for the 5 which I mentioned. So identify, let it be one paragraph, whatever the length, doesn't matter. First write. Initially, don't go with what should be the length of the content, doesn't matter. Just identify all the 5 components for each of this article. But then, and keep putting it here in the notes itself. But then, one problem is, do you have enough time for all these all the time? Each article, in fact, most of my research scholars initially they take one full week to review one article because we are not used for that. But as they progress, they pick up the speed. Currently, most of my research scholars in a day they're able to review at least 2 articles. That is good enough. Even one if you can, that's really good. But then, how can we speed this up? Friends, let us say we're doing your PhD, we'll have enough time, 3 years. So at least 6 months, 8 months, we can spend for literature review, no problem. But let's say there is a conference for which you're presenting a paper. Conference is another 6 months time. So we have to do a research for that, with the paper and send it. No. Do we have enough time to do this literature review manually? No. That's where we have many of the AI apps which can wonderfully help us to get this. So what I'm now taking you to is one more wonderful app which can help us in making an abstract. When I say making an abstract, identifying whatever we need. Remember, we need 5 points. Anything more you need, we can always have. But these are the principles. So when we can do it, we must do it. But to speed enough, this is something what we can do. So one such this thing I'm showing you is called Scholar C. So all this is are the AI apps which helps us in doing literature review. So scholarc.com. All right, I'll show you this. Okay. This one. So let's say in this we have something called article summarizer. Friends, every paper I want to review, just click here, import, just upload it here. And once I do that, friends, for every paper, it will show me all this in seconds. Trust me, in seconds. So it will show for this paper. There's one paper here already. It is giving us an example how the weather affects, etc., etc. So it will show what are the key concepts in this. It will give me the abstract of that article, a synopsis of that article, then highlights of that article, point by point, which makes things easy to read, a summary. See how things get summarized. But very, very interesting is, friends, this a comparative analysis. And this is something very beautiful. I really love this actually. See, it shows how this paper builds on previous research, how this paper has improved, taken previous research beyond, and obviously different from previous research, etc. On different aspects. Could be on methods, discussion. Now, how beautiful. And all these, mind you, friends, in seconds. As soon as I upload, I can actually get all this. Tables, figures, introduction, methodology. What is the methodology used for this? What are the results? Discussion, conclusion, limitations, references. Can you see? So, while it is for us to do, whenever we have a time constraint, and particularly when working on papers for conferences, for submitting for a journal, we can't keep on doing this. So that's when actually we can put this into use. But nothing which can substitute our manual efforts. If you have enough time, always that is what you must do. Because reading every paper thoroughly in detail will give you lots and lots of ideas, trust me. But when time is a constraint, this is something we can think of. Great. Now, this is Scholar C. Just try all this. As I said, all these are called freemium. Few articles you can upload, it will show you. Beyond that, if you want to, maybe you have to subscribe for it. If any institutions are subscribing, probably that can help you for that matter. But yes, you can use. Let me show you one more, which is on similar lines, called Elicit. Elicit.org. Elicit.org. Okay. Now, friends, hope you can see here, Elicit. Again, if you can see here, extra data from PDF. So you have the papers with you. As I said, 500 or what are the number of papers you have. So upload that. If you come here, there's a place to upload it. Upload. See, upload papers. Once you upload, so let's say all these are papers I've uploaded. Let's say these three. All these I've uploaded already, friends. I'm just showing what is already available. Now, it will ask me what I need for each article. Summary, findings, methodology, outcome, limitation, intervention, study design, research question, research gap. So whatever I select, methodology, findings. So as I keep selecting, friends, for each article, we'll have columns that gets created. It's taking time to create them. And you can keep on adding what software used, what are the techniques, statistical techniques. Literally, just click on this. Friends, for every paper, it will list out all these for us. So, the very same to what we used. Okay, please keep your audio mute, please, participants. Keep your audio mute. Okay. So, I'm just showing you what review we need to do. Whenever there's a time constraint, how these apps can be helpful for us to do this. Let's see. It takes time. Probably the bandwidth is low, so it's taking longer time. But you try all this. Please try all this and everything. Of course, the future research, which is something we need, obviously. So for all these papers, friends, it will demonstrate all this. So it's selected, if you remember, 3 papers, which was already there, which had already uploaded here. So columns are getting created. Whatever I select, there are columns getting created and it will display. It will take some time. Maybe I'll just keep it open. Later we'll see. And there is one more even very interesting. Friends, how we have Chat GPT, there's something called Chat PDF. And there's something very interesting. Chat PDF. For example, I'll just upload a paper. All this while I was just so there's one paper on my desktop. Financial and practices of SMEs instead of the food processing sector. Many papers I have here. So I'll just uploaded one paper here. And I think all of us have seen this movie Robo, where this Robo Chitty goes for a barber shop, takes the book, keeps telling the book, and is able to say things in seconds. That's exactly what's happening here. Can you see I uploaded a file? This is a file I uploaded. Now, in seconds, it has got uploaded. And the best part is, friends, this app has read everything in that article. So if I now ask, what are the objectives in this paper, let's say, can you see? So in seconds, friends, I uploaded it. In few seconds, it has read the entire article. So whatever question asked about this paper, I have to list out. So what are the objectives? I have it here. What is the methodology used in this paper, in this research? So it lists out what are the methodology used. See, what is the scope for further research? See, And as I mentioned earlier, any paper while doing literature review, it's very, very important that you identify scope for further research. So it has listed. Now, again, keep on emphasizing, it's for us to do all this. We should, don't deny that. And at least every day keep doing that. Whenever there's a time constraint, use this just as a, not as a substitute, but as a supplement of what we can do. And doing only this without doing manually is a big blunder we do. A AI app can help us in everything in research without you doing, but that's not what research is. And today the best part is any paper we submit, which also will show you all those things later, there are clear uh, uh, features available which will indicate that if AI generated. So even if you do anything with the help of AI, it can be identified and it won't be accepted. So all this is just to supplement your efforts. And nothing wrong in doing as long as it's a supplement. Now this is chat PDF. Let's see how simple these things are, but how effectively it can be used. Now, can you see elicit what I was showing? Friend, these are the papers I had uploaded. So I'd identified as what are the research gap, methodology, main findings, future research, etc., etc. Can you see? So what we have to identify, these apps, be it Scholarly, which is excellent, Elicit, Chat PDF, all these are some of them, and like this there are many more, which also there are some more I'll show later, which does all these functions what I'm displaying. All that it can help us to identify in every paper the exact precise content we need to help us in literature. Now, let's say, so I'm just going back to Mendeley again. So friends, each paper, notebook, I've identified all this. Either I've done it manually or I've done it using a AI app, whatever, have it. So now we have with you for all the papers, and when the number of papers are more, 500 plus, manually it will be very difficult. Time definitely is a constraint. So then using this will definitely be helpful. So have this for every article that you have this with you in a notebook. Now, how to identify research gap? Now, this is what we do. Once all this is ready, for every article you have, all these and any other points you are ready. Friends, can you see one feature here on Mendeley? Year. Friends, this is the year in which these articles are published. Year of publication. Now, if I click here once, can you see it is getting organized itself in chronological order, right? Now, remember, every article I have identified what is the research gap, what is the scope of further research. So go to every paper and check. In that paper, what is the scope of further research? And this was the initial paper. Now, if you, in the later papers, if that scope of further research in the earlier paper has been captured already. So this paper said the scope for further research on these things, we can still do research. Let's say in these papers, it is already captured. Good. It's chronological order. But let's say a research, scope of further research identified in one of the paper, you see that in none of the other papers it is captured it. So till 2023 have here, maybe a few more till latest you can have. So a scope of further research identified in one, we find that still not much work has been done in the future papers. So what have you done, friends? You've identified scope of further research as identified by some of the early researchers, which has not yet been touched, which has not yet been captured, which has not yet been worked upon. This is what we call as a gap. And I'm sure all of us know, when I say research gap, there are three types of gap. Conceptual gap, contextual gap, and methodology gap. So the gap can be in anything. So these papers have used one particular methodology, but based on your understanding, you know some other methodology. That itself is a gap. It may be done in US context, but nothing much has been done in Indian context. The application itself, the arrangement itself, the idea itself, its application could be in the industry, etc., is different. So we want to use it in a different concept. You want to give a different orientation, different meaning for the concept itself. So all this could be the gaps that are possible, and that's fine. And for these uh, apps like Medley, Zotero will be helpful for us. Now, just giving a brief insight how we do. It's not as simple as what I'm showing you, friends. It definitely calls for a lot of efforts, but I'm sure once you begin the process, you will definitely be able to reach there. Friends, now we've identified research gap. And one advantage of doing literature review is if you've done it yourself, by the time you identify research gap, you'll have so much of idea, so much of clarity. Every other step, every other process of research, you can do yourself and within a very short period of time. Some of them in days as well. Now, once your research gap is identified, what's the next step in research? Objectives, research objectives. This itself is a big discussion, and all these are not for which you should use any AI tool. You should know how to derive, mind you. Objectives are what we should find to get solution for the problem we have identified. So for that problem, what all we need to find? That are objectives. How to write objectives, how to express it. All these are certain things which I'm sure you've learned as a part of your course on research methodology. And in discussion with the guide, discussion with your peers, discussion with all those who already have done research, you can identify research objectives. And to find that, we need a tool, which will be questionnaire, schedule, checklist, whatever. Design the tool. Again, while AI can be useful for this, I never suggest all this. Please design the tool, what is appropriate for your objectives. You design the tool yourself, get it vetted, get it, do a pilot study, find its reliable, identify its reliability, validity. You do that. And that's a different process by itself. All that as a part of research, I'm sure you have come across. So even for this, you should not use any AI tools. Don't. Data collection, of course, it's collecting data. Today, data collection has become so simple. Just type your entire requirement in Google form and send it. Ask people to fill it in, which itself is an AI once again. But I always suggest it's always advisable that you, in person, meet the respondent, collect data from them, because this interaction and networking will go a very long way in a lot of your academic and research career for that matter. So collect data. So there also don't think of any AI tools. But comes another very interesting thing, data analysis. Friends, I keep meeting researchers everywhere I go. And whenever I meet any researcher and ask them, what's the status of my research? They say, sir, I'm doing data analysis. Few months later, when I meet them and ask them again, what is the status? They say data analysis. 6 months later, 1 year later, they're always in data analysis. And this is what we call paralysis of analysis. And honestly, we get paralyzed in this stage because we don't know how to do data analysis. And this is one area which every researcher must equip himself or herself with. And you must do analysis yourself. Depending on some statisticians, somebody else, that's shouldn't happen. And it's not a rocket science, trust me. It's something which each of us can comfortably, conveniently do. Just you have to make a beginning. For this data analysis as well, you can't use AI tools, but AI tools can help us certain aspects of data analysis. For example, now when I say data analysis, remember we have three steps in data analysis: descriptive analysis, uh, inferential analysis, and predictive analysis. This predictive analysis is what you call as modeling. I mean, the word econometric modeling. That's what we call. Okay. Now, how to do this descriptive and inferential? For the timing, let's keep aside this. We'll come back to it later. But how to do this descriptive and inferential analysis? For that, first we need to know the data what we have with us. Remember, you collected data using a tool. Could be questionnaire, schedule, checklist, whatever. Lots of data. I'm sure all of us seen a questionnaire and we know how the data will be. So first aspect and one of the foundations for doing data analysis is to identify the data that you have with you, which you have collected, is what type of data? Is it nominal data, ordinal data, interval data, ratio data? And trust me, only when you know this, you can identify, you can actually begin with data analysis. Until otherwise, things are not equipped. Now, while it is simple, a 10-15 minute discussion, we can understand what this is, and we can, given any data, you can identify. But for all these stages, we can find its use again, our AI tools. So I'll just go back to ChatGPT once again. So let's say, friends, I've already asked some question earlier. I'm just continuing. And this ChatGPT or any AI tool is very sensitive. Treat it as a human being, it will treat you as a human being. If you give it love, it will give you love. If you give it garbage, it will give you garbage. So treat it nicely, like how you do any other human being. So I'm just asking a query. I have data regarding, okay, I have gender data of 100, let's say, students. What type of data is this? Say what type of data? Is it nominal, ordinal, etc.? But I don't have to say that. It will understand by itself. So can you see? Nominal, ordinal. It is called categorical data, which includes nominal, ordinal, male, female. So we call it as nominal data. You can read that. Let's say savings data of 100 employees, 1,000, whatever the number, are available. What type of data is this? So it shows nominal, ordinal, interval, ratio. So friends, this is called ratio data. What is it? I'm sure all of us know. This is not what I want to get into. Time permits, at the end, if you need, we can always get into a discussion. That's all right. So in doing data analysis, the first aspect is to know what type of data we have. So in case you have knowledge, which you can, I'm sure, nothing extraordinary. In 10 minutes, you can learn it. You can. But I'm just showing you where we don't have clarity. Just say what data you have, and it will help you to identify what type of data. Friends, based on this data, we identify what all descriptive analysis to do, what all inferential analysis to do. And when I say inferential analysis, we should know two things. One, we should know how to make hypothesis. Inferential analysis, this two things: making hypothesis and testing hypothesis. And presently, we know all this. So descriptive analysis is analysis which helps to describe the data. That's it. It helps to describe the data. Inferential analysis helps us to draw inferences from the data we have collected. And for drawing inference, which later becomes conclusion, we can know how to make hypothesis and later how to test hypothesis. So, how to know how to make hypothesis? Let's see what I show now. Data of, I mentioned this, gender and savings data of 1,000 employees are available. What should be the hypothesis? That's it, simple. It will first give us all the background, etc. I'm sure all of you know, right? Hypothesis, there's null hypothesis, alternate hypothesis. Null hypothesis always say there is no significant difference. Alternate hypothesis, there is a significant difference. Now, can you see? There is no significant difference in the savings, forget mean and all, in the savings of male and female employees. That's the data I gave. Gender and savings. So False hypothesis, no difference, no significant difference in the savings made by both. Alternate hypothesis, there is a difference. Now, I have this. Now, how to test this hypothesis? So, please suggest the test for this hypothesis. Already it was given earlier. I'm just again showing. So it will tell what are the tests. So independent T test, man-Whitney U test, it has listed out. You can later check what are the tests that are applicable for this. So can you see T test? Simple, trust me, as I said, you don't need a chat GPT or any AI tool to tell you this. You can know all this yourself. Just when you don't have clarity, what you can do. But doing this test, you can't do here. So we don't know how to make hypothesis, fail. What test to use? Okay. But for testing, obviously need to use statistical packages. I'm sure all of us are familiar. SPSS, Jamovi, R, Python, Gretel, N number, no end, EViews, etc., etc. I mean, I can keep on listing. So you should not test in those, but what test? So that's why these A tools can give us some idea how to use. Then one of the requirements in testing hypothesis in this process is testing normality. Testing normality is the data that we have. Is it normally distributed or not normally distributed? So again, if I just ask, give some data and ask, is it normally distributed or not? It will tell us what test to use, how to use the test. And if I specifically in HPSS, how to test it. In R, how to test it. It will give us even the commands for that matter. So how to test for normality in R. R is a software. So can you see software implement? So it says what are the tests we can use, and it will give us the commands, everything. So those of us who at least have seen R, can you see copy code? So just copy. I'm sure those who already know how to go there, etc., you would know. But we don't know how to do coding. Most of us have not learned it. Doesn't matter. What test to use and the code, the AI tools. ChatGPT is one I'm showing you. Like that, there are many tools. ChatGPT is most popular. And what I'm showing you is 3.5, which is a free version. There's ChatGPT 4, which is a paid version. So you can get more, including pictures, diagrams, tables, everything it will give. Some of the tests also ChatGPT will do if it's a paid version. Okay. So data analysis also, AI tools can be very helpful, including how to interpret it. That's another thing which most researchers don't know. We use some tool, space or something, get some output. How to interpret it? How to write? That's something which, again, most researchers miss out. Now, what are the output you get? Paste it here. It will give you what is the interpretation as well. All this, you should not actually honestly do it. You must do it yourself. And I repeat again, it's not a rocket science, friends. I'm very, very sure. Once you get a little insight, all this something we can do ourselves. There's confusion, not much of clarity. You don't have somebody whom we can discuss. At that stage, you can make use of these ACE tools. Friends, once all this data analysis is through, you got inferences, etc. Then comes another stage, manuscript writing. In fact, this was the title that was given for today's session, but just that alone may not be helpful unless we pass through all the stages. And for that alone, the time we need is very small. So I wanted to capture all this. So next comes this manuscript writing. And this is another major challenge. How to write manuscript. When I say manuscript, friends, for all those who are doing our PhD, our thesis is the manuscript. If I'm writing an article, a research paper for a journal, the article what I'm writing is the manuscript. Paper which I write for a conference is manuscript. So manuscript is a general term. Whatever we write is manuscript. It becomes, after they complete it and accept it, becomes a paper, article, thesis, whatever. Now, this is one more area where we need a lot of expertise and lot of guidance, lot of hand holding. And while guides do give their time, not all the time guide can sit with every student and make all this happen. So that's where whatever I demonstrate now can be little useful for us. So now one more I'm showing you today is Jenny.ai. Jenny.ai. Most of this, when you log in only, it will actually give you what we need. So let's say I want to write just a new document. Now, one of our friend mentioned distribution channels. So friends, I just say distribution channels. Just for example, I'll say retail products, something like that. So start writing. Now, the Jenny AI is what we can use for effectively writing the introduction part. Not your research, your data analysis, something you should do. That how to write that is something you should do, which also we can see later. Now, it will take some time. So it will give sentence by sentence. So first it gave one sentence: distribution play crucial role, marketing and selling of retail product, accept. Or I can say make change. It will keep on generating. And the best part is, can you see, it takes from some articles and mentions. All this, it's, if you don't do it, I customize and say, we'll give you something else, etc. So that's a few rules of that. And it's automatically, since it's accepted it, this will be references. So now it comes to the name. St.Francis, different styles. American Psychological Association is the most preferred, and most of the journals prefer that. But there are many other styles, whichever preferred, I can select and it will show me according to that. But as I said, this is a freemium. Only if I upgrade, that is, if I subscribe, I can get this. Otherwise, I may not. But at least I'm demonstrating how it will be helpful. There's another one very interesting called paper digest. Paper digest. And this paper digest, I should show you. This paper digest can be used for literature review as well, and even for writing, and writing very, very beautifully. First, I'm showing how it can be used for literature review. So friends, again, I'll say distribution channels. Now, it's asking, is it a paper that we need? Patent, etc. So paper. If it is expert opinion, expert talks, it will give us that. And it will give a past year, past 5 years, or all available. So I'll just say, or in fact, it has already given me 10. And friends, this is another interesting part. Can you see, for these 10 articles, it has actually even written a paragraph. This is something we don't know, how to write literature review. We done literature review, how to write it. Now, please don't copy paste here. That you should not do. But this should help us to know how to write it. So if you it like this, a few, and for these articles, how to write it. Also, good idea. You should do it. The near may not be accurate. So don't just copy paste. And as I said, today we have AI identifier, AI generated identifier. So if you copy paste, it will identify. It's bigger crime compared to plagiarism. So don't do that. At least it will be good. And friends, it's a cost only. And again, a summary for that. So 10 papers it's giving. And if you subscribe, it will give more than papers. This is a free version, so it is giving only few. So those who subscribe, you will get all and in a summary. And even better, past year. Obviously, the latest we have, the better, so that we know in the recent past what is the scope of other research identified. So whatever I did for research past, we don't have to worry. We can just take it further. That itself is a research gap for us. So see, we have how to write this. This is exactly how we read it in journal articles, right? This is what to read. This is how literature will be expressed. It's showing, but this is just indicator for you. This is a model. This is a guide. Based on this, you should write for all the articles you review your own summary. But what is even interesting in this is text rewrite. Friends, we write, but then how appropriate it is, how accurate it is. Journals will have its own standards in which every article has to be written, lot of requirements, lot of clear conditions made available. And most of us, we communicate in English. When it comes to writing, it's called technical writing. That may not be like a cup of tea. We're not exposed to that. And our English may not be as what is expected in these journals. Right. Your own data. Do data analysis, you write it. Let me just open one of the articles and show you. So, suppose this is one article. So, there's something which I had given for correction. I'm just putting here, friends. So, that's it. I'll just take somebody here. This is not the right one, but anyway, there are mistakes here. So, so put it here. Say this. So already it is showing how many mistakes we have, mathematical mistakes, spelling mistakes, etc. Okay, see. Now, once again, don't do this for your entire article. That's wrong. Today it's a big business. Once you write an article, article to a journal itself will have another business. They will get in touch with you and say, please use this app. You can write in our style, and that comes at a cost. So that's a business by itself. You don't get used to that. For a couple of paragraphs, you see how it appears. And I'm sure once you get the heck of it, once you get how exactly to go about, you can start writing by yourself. And that should happen, friends. And one article, two articles, three articles. By fifth article, I'm sure you will be the expert. You would know how to write yourself. That should what happen. When you don't have anybody's guidance, at least they should help you with. And here you can see simplify, summarize of things. See, and friends, our times, I started my research in 93. System computer itself was something new for us. We could, to the extent possible, we did. And other than physical books, we didn't have even something called soft copies. Nothing existed. Literally everything we did by ourselves. Calculator, maybe to some extent, Excel sheet, etc., which we could use. Our analysis was based on that. SPSS was then coming up. We tried using to the extent possible. But today, click of a button, there are so many things available. So how good your research quality should be. All these things, system takes care. So what should be good? Concept should be good. Your idea should be good. Whatever you come up with should be very unique. Your methodology should be different, unique, excellent. Somebody should not be able to emulate. So those things you can work upon because these things gets taken care of. Another one which I'll show you, which is again very interesting, is the Quillbot. Quillbot. Now, I'll just show you and demonstrate. Can you see here? Paraphraser, what it just means. This is here. So, here, say paraphrase. So, you can see. So, it asks us to adapt sensitivity. Some of these to pay for it. Whatever you've written, is it AI generated or human generated? Can you see here? A generated, human written and paraphrased, human written. So just an example for proven doc. So this is article by 3, 4 IIM professors. I'm just taking that. So there is text. There you see 100% human written. This is a very beautiful article. Maybe I can see it later. Please read. This is a beautiful article on how we can write a research paper just based on literature review. And by the time you complete research literature review, you can write a paper. So this article will be helpful. Maybe later, please remind me in the chat itself. I'll share this article. Beautiful. Those who do literature review, first paper can learn that itself. How you can? This article itself. Then summarizer. What we did earlier, if you remember, I take a uploaded doc to summarize everything that we need. Translator, citation generator. So of any article, if I just ask to generate the citation, it will show me, etc., etc. So beautiful. So friends, once this, keeping this as a foundation, if you use right, it could be a paper, thesis, or whatever. Now, you're done with your research part, you're done with your presentation part. But with a thesis, it has a different process. Suppose it's a paper you want to publish in a particular journal. So first, you should check, is it publishable? Is it in a publishable condition? How? So I'm showing you one more app, paperpal.com. Paperpal.com. Okay. All this, to some extent, is free. Beyond a point only, it's payable. Now, can you check here? There is one thing called submission check. So let's say I take this. So upload either a Word file or a manuscript file. So let's say something like this. Okay. I'm just uploading something which is already published, but your own article, you publish it, your own this thing. Friends, once you do that, to evaluate and show you what is expected by journals, what is there, what is not there. Can you see? It is getting ticked. So all this, whatever we have here, friends, are mandatorily required to get your article published. Essentially required, you must have. Now, quite often we send the article, then they review it and they send back, all these are missing. So it takes ages for a paper to get published. But friends, if I use such things, this is just one among them, like that there are many more, which will show you. So it will show me what is expected, what we have among them, what we don't have among them. It will do it by itself. It's processing now. Please see, when we get so much guidance, how much easy it makes for us to keep things ready and how fast we can get our things published. That's even more interesting. Now, once our paper is ready, now I'm interested to know where to publish it. So now paper is ready. I worked on the paper, I uploaded it, I got all this information. So I checked what is missing. I took care of that. Now I'm ready to publish it. Where to publish it? Which journal? The confusion. So this is another thing. Just showing you one. Prinka, for example. Prinka. This is one. Can you see what is it? Journal finder. Earlier I had just taken one. I just can you see here? Paste your abstract. So for a paper we need to make an abstract. Done that. I'm just showing one which had already uploaded abstract. So it shows me which are the journals in which you can consider publishing this. So last 10 years, this was an article in mutual funds. So I didn't tell you because it's a full paper. Just as an example, I created. But so, which are the top 5 journals in which you can get this published? Like that, we have many other apps. You can see here, Journal Selector, Wiley Journal Finder, Springer Journal Suggester, etc., etc. So once you have, friends, you're ready with this. So our research from the beginning, what background material I should refer, till getting published, lot of AI tools available to help us. And friends, whatever I'm showing is just tip of the iceberg. So those interested, where all can I get? Hmm? Friends, if you go to futurepedia.io, this is a directory of AI tools, directory for AI tools. So if I come here and say for literature review, for data analysis, whatever, it will show me what all is available, what all AI apps are available, and on a daily basis, so many new AI tools are being used. So for literature review, many like this, there's a big list available. You can see what is more relevant, appropriate for you. You can always use that. But what is short is tip of the iceberg. But I repeat again, that's it. Only to the extent it can be a supplement, it should not be a substitute. Like to end with some of these quotations about technology. AI, mind you, it's a technology. Friends, technology is best when it brings people together. If it has to divide us, separate us, then that's not how technology must be used. It has become appallingly obvious that our technology has exceeded our humanity, which I'm sure all of us are experiencing, said by none other than Albert Einstein. Technology is useful servant, but a dangerous master. And technology is good as long as it's in our control. And this is said not by any of these people in this character, robo. That's the end message. And whatever, all these AI tools is technology. As long as we keep it in our control, use it to help us, good. But when we start completely depending on it, friends, that's the end of us. Today, we know how much we have surrendered ourselves to technology in everything for that matter. I don't see a kid today reading books using mobile apps, etc. Absolutely. I mean, a lot of things I'm sure you would be able to list out. Now, we should not fall into that trap. At the same time, we cannot completely ignore technology. It's a part and parcel. How much to use is a choice, but we can't avoid using it. Let us use it, but at the same time, let's ensure that we use it as a supplement, not as a substitute. And if we know how to put it in control, I'm sure, friends, with our knowledge in research, our knowledge in the domain, and the technology, we will be the masters. So, this is a brief presentation on how to use AI tools for academic research. I'm now open for questions.
Thank you so much, Rajesh sir. I would request the participants to please raise your hands. I'll be able to allow you one by one because for some technological reason, the chat box is not working. Please raise your hand. I will be allowing you to ask question. Participants, if you have any questions, please raise your hand.
Then the raising hand is not visible.
Okay, so
As well.
so please
Okay,
carry
then
on.
unmute. Let the
We'll
question
see.
is
We
okay.
can. Yeah, I think some maybe the settings may be an issue. If you have any question, please ask Rajesh sir.
Now even chat is possible to work. It can work now. It was disallowed. Now chat is also working. Any questions? I should appreciate St. Francis College for arranging this workshop because this is in need of the research and more insights. Always good. And so many of you making time and participating indicates your interest level. Good. I'll just put this file which I mentioned.
So Rajesh sir, we do have Dr. Ambika. She is raising her hand, and I would unmute
Sure,
her
sure.
because she wanted to have
Yeah,
question
certainly.
asked.
Just 1 minute. I'm putting one article on the chat box. So this review of literature on working capital management. Please download this. This can be a very good reference for you to know. Based on literature review, how we can write a research paper. This you can always send it later. I'll give you my email ID. You can mail me as well. Sorry, please. Yeah, I'm sorry. What's the question?
Good evening, sir.
Good evening, madam.
Thank you for the wonderful tips. It was a really good session. The question is, if at all I want to look for any hybrid problem, that is mix of
Multidisciplinary,
some
you mean?
technologies and all, how do I look for it? Do you have any site for it?
I'm not sure if there are any sites. I'm not sure. But uh, whatever we displayed works for everything. So when it's a hybrid, I understand it as multidisciplinary. So, and particularly databases today will give you on every domain, including multidisciplinary, all the papers are available. So remember, all these are once you have the literature available, the articles, all this can be used for any papers for that matter. But what to refer there, any database can help you, particularly multidisciplinary. I'm sure today, every database for that matter, particularly Scopus itself, if you go for um, every domain you need, including multidisciplinary, uh, articles are available. Databases is the source. Which database? There's no one particular database. Whatever you can access should help you with.
Thank you, sir.
Hope that was,
So,
hope I understood your question correctly.
so thank you so much, Rajesh sir. I can see one more question from the participant named Rajita PB. The participant want to know, is AI-based contents come under plagiarism?
That's an interesting one. Actually, there's no AI tool for this, but friends, okay, let me not go to the website, but I'll show you. There is one subscribed software available in many institutions called funding institutions. Funding institutions. I'll share the screen and put this on the Excel sheet. So let me show two things. One, Skyvel. Two, funding institutions. And these are subscribed databases, subscribed softwares. In my institution, we have. I work at Alliance University, we have. I'm sure many institutions we have. And this exactly is what our friend was asking. So Skyvel actually gives on particular area who are all the researchers working presently and are interested in collaborating. So that's a wonderful point you raised. So Skyvel actually gives that. So you can also express, once you register there, you can express your interest. This area in which I'm working on this area, I'm interested in pursuing research, any collaborator. So all those institutions which are part of this, anybody interested, they will connect with you. Similarly, others would have expressed, you can always check and you can collaborate with them. So Skyvel actually helps us in that. So my funding institution, other subscribed database, both these are literally databases, which also will help us to which actually connect with funding institutions, as the name itself says. In our research, if interest any institution which are willing to fund, that helps it to connect with. So to collaborate and to fund, these could be helpful for us. To collaborate particularly, stable could be helpful for us.
So I believe the participant names faculty 17, your question been answered. Any more questions for Rajesh sir? Participants?
I have put my email ID on the sheet here. You can make a note and please feel free to write. At the earliest possible, I can respond. Any in which I can be helped in research, I'll be more than happy to. My time is limited, but definitely whenever there's a possibility, we can help you on this.
So I don't see any more question, Rajesh sir. So thank you very much. And I wanted to take a moment to express our sincere gratitude for your invaluable contribution with us for conducting the FDP, and especially on the day 2 of the FDP, the session on the AI-based research tool for the research articles. Your expertise and insights really have significantly, I would say, enriched our understanding, especially from the faculty domain and the research scholar, how artificial intelligence can be used so efficiently in the research process. So I would really wanted to say that your clear explanation, practical demonstration have not only demystified our complex concept, but also inspired us to explore more new avenues in our research endeavors. So I really wanted to say on behalf of our entire St. Francis management and the faculties over here from different institutions and faculties from the St. Francis College, your passion for the subject matter was really wonderful. It's really wonderful and engaging and informative. I really wanted to thank you again for your time, dedication, and expertise. Your contribution has really been instrumental in our empowering us with the knowledge and skill needed to embrace the cutting edge technologies shaping the future for research. So we will look forward for more collaborations and learning opportunities with you, sir. So thank you so much to you, and thanks to all the faculty members who have joined as participants. So thank you so much.
Thank you. Thanks to all the participants. It was wonderful participation. And once again, my thanks to Subharav sir and the entire St. Francis College team for this opportunity. Have a great evening. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Participants,
you.
ensure
Thank you so
that
much.
you
Thank you.
should fill the feedback form before you log out from the session. Thank you so much, sir, and good night to everybody.
Good night. Thank you. Thank you.